Ewa na ewa, lo ne mo na lo ne mi mo mama mama lo ne ma da lo ne ma lo ne ma da lo ma lo ye lo ye lo ne mi mo ba de bo lo ne ma ba de bo lo ne ma ba de bo Ewa na ewa, ewa, una wega lo ne mi mo, ya lo ne mo nga ba de bobo, ana de ko na o ga egina, ana de ko na o ga egina. Ewa ana ewa, lo ne mo na mo ye, lo ne mo na mo ye, lo ne mo na we la egina ye, ne we la boga egina ye, no ye gana, lo ne ga nyana. Ana ega na lo mo karenye, diga lo go ana mo, diga lo go. Ana le nga be mwe, ana le nga be mwe. Ya kuna lo mo miwa, ena we na lo ne miwa. Ya lo ne ma ba de ibobo, ya lo ne ma ba de ibobo. Ana elo, ana elo, ana elo. Ewala, ana ewa, 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 namuye, namuye. Ana elo, ela wa, yena we, lomo miwa, kunu namuye, lo ne miwa, ya dempa na baje ibobo. Ana kwetumo, ana kwetumo, ana kwetumo, ana kwetumo, ana kwetumo. Ana adobanye, ana adobanye, ana mo adobanyo, malo na adoyo, malo na adoyo. Sandela juwa ba walomo, sandela juwa ba walomo. Enga na kwale kamubo kabalu kamubo. Ewa na ewa lo ne mo na miye, ewa lo ne mo na miye, lo ne mo na miye. Mwadanga onganwa taona duale ngabe mwe wale kuna moke lo derubo. Dabali nyangela yeka la bebo ke lo debo daba moya li ba mongolo ya yele li ba teo ya yele li ba wolo dale nyarela di go webre nyamuwe la mo bre nyama duba duga mono we ya dale ya malo wo ko ba le ye. Okay. Bobaleye peraga ye tebo. Bobaleye peraga ye tebo. Ya moyo, ya mo papa lo mema. Good evening. So I want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am your host, Francis Ian Sot of the Library Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners right here on the Diaspora Informative News outlet. The first time I want to apologize came on, but I noticed something was not right, so I have to
position because it is always our ultimate goal here to give you the best. You don't want to be watching, taking up your pressure time and something that is not right happening, and we just needed to go off to make quick adjustments. We want to thank you so much. James is in the house. Neiman Tracy, Celebrations of Hope Ministry. I'm wondering where you based. Are you in the USA, Europe, Liberia? Celebration of Hope Ministry. Interesting in knowing where that ministry is. Of course, that's the lawyer daughter, right? Says Jane Glendit, good evening. To welcome. This is the Liberia Public Radio, Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome one of our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am your lead host, Alfonso Zienso, right here this evening. And a couple of weeks I been off, not off, but also engaged, involved into other community initiatives. As you know, LPR is not just on the politics, is not all of our point of conversation yet, though it's a greater portion of things of our daily lives. But at the same time, we are also obliged, we are also obligated to give back to our communities wherever we live, whether it is in the USA, it's in Liberia. We always like to we make the news fair, balanced, and proportionate in terms of not being selective. Who to we don't want to count on politicians because when you count on them, they're going to leave you to right at the crossing point when you desperately need to get across the river. That's who they are. But the ocean state of Rhode Island, if you watch of lately, we've been going through a lot of uh, lifetime situations in terms of family members, friends, all of our community, whether you live in Minnesota, Iowa, no matter the matter, we are like a community. And so when something happens to one person, it's like you too, you are not excluded because you are part of the community. You are a subset, you are a set of that community as well. You might not be a direct family member of that person, but remember you are in the community. You live within the same maybe environment, suburbs, whatever it is. So when your next door neighbor is on fire, you should be concerned because the probability to what are you going to cross over, it could be you another time that somebody will come closer to you to console you. Those are things that we do. So family members, a lot of people, a lot of the Rhode Island of lately from last month, for one thing to another, funeral, people dying, and I mean it's just a crazy war. And for the most part, these people they have family back home, they are here, and so when they call on us as a community network, so that we give to bring a virtual presentation, so that the families, some of these people, their children. Depending on what the relations, they want to also bring the events virtual, so as if they are part of the process to see that. That's another way of cancellation. And so the last couple of weeks, from Friday, you won't even believe. From yesterday, if you watch yesterday, the late Richard Baba. For those of you who follow LPR, you saw the footage, you saw the images. We cover the wake, we cover the funeral, the repairs, and from there, a guy called the General. Everybody can get a set title. His wife, I celebrated him in grand style, and LPR was there as well. And I think that was a good thing. You celebrate people when they are alive, when they can see kolo kolo. Let them eat their own cow, let them cut their own cake. As sick and tired people when someone died and these endless species, oh, he was good, oh, she was this. But nobody had a thought that, this guy is giving services to the community. This guy is doing well for the family. This guy is giving back. They would never go in your garden and get a flower and give it to you. So the idea of Mrs. Wright, Jackie Wright, I honored her husband yesterday. It was a real fun. It was a real fun. left from that event literally like almost 1 to 2 o'clock in the morning. Hey, when you're working with Liberian people, at the time, put my head down, telephone start ringing. Early morning around 9 o'clock because somebody did not show up to work. When she show up in there, guess what? I have to wake up to go in because there was no way that I could get somebody in. It just got home literally like 2 hours. The cook hour, gotta go there, do the last finishing up. But again, you are so valuable, you are so important, and we can't just cut off like that. So even with that running, usually, we're on 8 o'clock, it's 8:54. I'm like, no, I gotta go. Because this is what the liberals, the most liberal, they've been talking their tabata on this network of late. Jerry back on, Jerry Washington back on, and Samson Brown told in one of the most liberal states in California. They've been having a fun time in a few days, talking tabata, being politically correct, unable to call their people. So when it's found out that if I'm not on, then they celebrate. They are happy because they get away with this sort of stuff. And we have the other guy who is in Joe Biden's state, Moses Singwe, the security analyst, who more or less should be independent, but he's there. Everybody protecting his of our own alligator. That's the problem that we have. And so it's good to be back here this evening to want to open these phone lines. If this is the first time on this network, we say you are wholeheartedly welcome. I am your host, Francis Zienso. And today is the Sunday's editions of The Examiner. The Examiner takes on a very, very high critical issue. I will be playing host to Hassan Musa Ability. There's a new party born in Liberia. I will soon be forming my own party too, because a lot of something inside this thing here. The rendezvous was actually set for today, but a lot of but I know they are breaking their fast. It's a big one, but it was just good. It happens too because somebody just called out my being dead long time. That's a problem. The season almost around. So the red will just call anytime now and give some sort of long spot of West Street. We all used to do that. So sometimes when they do it, they'll say, man, don't even go there. I know what's up in the town today. You won't go there, myself, I won't go there. Don't even try that with me. But we are making arrangement. Hassan Musa Ability will be appearing here on this network. And we're going to be having the conversations. I intend not to be judgmental. I intend not to count on the talking points on other networks. I'm not saying they are not credible, but I want to hear from myself. I want to ask some questions as well. And he has agreed. So we are working out the technical details. The Hassan Musa Ability, the chairperson, what's the name of the party? I think CMC, I shouldn't forget the name. The party didn't do much. But he's going to be, he has consented to be here. And so we're going to be having here at some point in time. As soon as we restructure the new date, we're going to send that out and we will be playing host to Musa Hassan Ability. Because I said rule and order, something, representative of Nima County. So if this is the first time on this network, we say thank you for joining us. Your comments, your tweets, always you are at liberty to critique us as we do to other people. We are also liable to that. I'm not a guy who operates a Chinese phone like the liberals. Somebody bumped into me last night and was in defense of the liberal. Everybody get their own people there, and that was quite interesting. But we had a very interactive conversation. But she was actually on point. This speaks to the value and the things that we do on this network and people who sit behind the microphone. You never know. People listen, people watch, people observe. And the lady, she had a very valid point. I didn't go through that, and I told her that I take responsibility as head of this network. It was not arguable. There was nothing that I could argue because she was very tired. She was on point. And it has to do with one of our reporters. I will reach out as well. did a story. We are not a public relations officer for politicians. If it's a formal announcement, the one or whatever release coming out, it has to be written in specific context coming from them. But you can be a reporter or correspondent, and literally you have a write out like suggest you are more or less special assistant to this person, outlining to why this person should be blah 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 and all of that. And she was very forceful. She came like, "Oh, you Mr. So?" I said, "Yeah." So, "Okay, I need to talk to you." I'm like, "Okay, am I in trouble?" Yeah, he said, "Yes, I'm in trouble." I'm like, "Wait a minute, we having party here. Did I do anything wrong?" Or so he said, "Yeah, you didn't do it, but you are the head of this network. There was an article posted on your page. It is not you, but I don't care. You are the head. So anything that goes on that network, technically it should meet your approval. So whether you agree, you not agree, but by the virtue of the fact that it was posted and nothing was done about that, I feel disappointed. I am a strong follower of LPR, but I don't think this is how the information. So I said, "What is that?" And she was very clear. So that caught my attention. So I decided to give extra time to her to hear what she wants to say, because we have to value these people. And then she called it. I was like, "Okay, I think I saw that post." And I decided to give her a description. And I said, "No, that's not that post." So I said, "Can you make reference to it? Let me know." He said, "No, you have your phone there. Take your phone. Let's go on your page." Oh my goodness. It was interesting. So I said, "All right." We decided to scan through it. She said, "No, if you say get that," she said, "When you get there, I will know." I said, "Okay." So the first post from this person, he said, "No, then this one here." And I saw the second post from one of our reporters, the hairline. And I want to look at it just from the surface, the hairline, that alone. And I went to the conclusions. It didn't suggest that, that it was this lawmaker, maybe, office or whatever group giving them, but it was he the one to literally outlining, making the case for this network. I mean, for this representative. So when I look at it from look at the first, the beat, went in the middle, see the conclusion, and I just told her, "I'm sorry, I take responsibility." But I will have people that are responsible. But this speaks to the value, to the point that people listen, people monitor, people observe. And so just how we hold people accountable, we also should be held accountable. We should not post ourselves as a Goliath and we say it and that's it and nobody is. This is how these alligators come to town. Because we're holding people accountable, to government officials, other people accountable. We sitting behind the microphone and people taking off their pressure time to listen, to be able to make informed decisions. Not that they can't do it, but it's what we desire to do. And so they also hold a high esteem. So I told her last night, I said, "I'm sorry, I take responsibility. We should have done better." It isn't excusable to say, "Well, the guy, the Africa Bureau didn't look at it, so I didn't look at it." That is a lazy point. So I'm sorry. So, okay, let's move on. But then later on, she seems to be, she said, "I want to raise a second point, but I know this one it will not work out. So hopefully we will meet again. Then I can raise what is that?" And she wants to bring in the labor, the way you can do the labor, this and that. Like, oh, don't even go there. The Liberal and his folks, the Liberal sanction voices. The Liberal don't allow folks to speak. People he doesn't agree with when they call, he has given his phone some artificial name, Chinese phone. So if he doesn't speak the language he wants you to speak, then he cut you off. But anyway, that was the point. This is clearly to show that things that we do, people observe it, people watch it, and we must also be very, very careful. And I think she was on point. It's inarguable. I mean, no point to argue. She was quite correct. with what she said. Because when I look at that, I say, okay, I'm not going to take it down. I want to let him have a side of the story, why he wrote what he wrote, and why he decided to do that, and that we just have to double up that you can give people let everybody have a fair share. We can't be a public relations, we can be a mouthpiece for those people. If you take a position, you want to take a position, take a position. It should be clear, it should be known. That way the audience, they know who you are, where you stand. But to just write something like that, and I think she was quite on point. Okay, guys, good evening, to welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Tapos Elite. Yeah, I saw that post. I believe I had an interview. Always, we have some sort of during the heat. When the election comes around, there are a lot of unnecessary tension because people are very protective of their people and all of that. And I believe I extended him an invitation when he was appointed. And we had little conversations, I believe, he used to call on Lpr and all of that. But people, sometimes when people, you disagree with people, then sometimes they take offense. But I saw that post with sincerely our condolences. I do not know the details surrounding his death. Even if I date, I wouldn't be the best person to say that unless I speak with family members. But knowing who he is, our prayers and thought goes out to the bereaved family for the loss of a great son of Liberia. To whom I have political differences, but in time like this, we must also see reasons to extend our sympathy and condolences to the bereaved family. So tonight, thank God the Chinese phone is not here. This line gonna be activated as early as soon as possible. So we're gonna have you here to speak. A lot been going on recently with in the higher court of the land. It's quite interesting to the argument there. That's what happens when you have adults who behaves like children, who do not have the country at heart. It's all about themselves, and the folks that think that they can what I speak for at the expense of the Liberians. That's what happened. But at the hearings, at the recent arguments at the Supreme Court was very forceful. The Supreme Court bench was they were very, very specific. They point out these constitutional issue, how they came up, we remember, with a Latin words and what they anticipated or expected. These people, these lawmakers, and if you listen to her honor, she was basically talking about the constitutionality of the process of itself. But I listened to one of our analysts here recently too, and that this legislature perhaps not answerable to the Supreme Court. Really? That is absurd. Then what is the essence of having that? Who told you that even being in the first branch of government, they make the law, but they are not the one that interprets the law. That's the problem. The people, it is the judiciary that interprets the law. Why you think at some point in time, when there are issues, it goes to the Supreme Court? They have that judiciary wisdom. They are close to the constitutions to give a forced interpretation to what the Constitution says. So while we are waiting, we're not going to be judgmental. We're not going to go ahead of our shadows. We're not going to burst into flame. We're just going to be a little bit apprehensive in the terms in sense that we want to see what their final eye into this process, and let's see who's going to listen to it. But we have been hearing as well, folks close to this process, the president. It's clear. The president, there are some folks who are not happy with the president's calling for a conference. And one of the persons that were told that was very, very much not in favor is Sylvester Grossprit. And you have these Moja socialist boys like Samuel Coffey Woods, who should even know the better when he was with JCP. Samuel Coffey Woods, and they were very forceful during the Samuel Canyon Dorothy administration regime, from military to civilian government, whatever it is. And now they are within the proximity to presidency. He's one of the last person the president can talk to. In fact, as a national security chief, you provide the last briefing before the president leaves his office. And when the president comes in, those people have full access to the president. And some of them arguing it's not an issue, it's not a problem for the president to have a conversation, something that has been nationally discussed, which is putting our country on edge. A few people think that they can just take the law into. That was a political coup d'etat that we saw happening, breaking this guy with putting his left hand up and think it's okay. And some of us will say, and we will continue to say, all of these things will blame the president of the Republic of Liberia. Because as the elder, when these things come here, who told you the executive cannot? They have that political will. They saw what was coming. They decided on purpose for political reason. They all have to facilitate to get us to be where we are. That led to what happens in the history of our country. Now, even during the civil crisis, where houses, buildings was burned down out of ignorance, and that's what's suffering us today. And these people, because they were so greedy, they also wanted to do things. It's all about the personal selves, what they're going to get in return politically, this political reward. We saw that. Leavings, and that was the argument, because the Supreme Court were very, very much specific on specific item, the process that it wasn't right, because some provisions within the Constitution was ignored. The only chief presiding officer is the Speaker of the House of Representatives. The process of saying if the Speaker is absent, the Deputy Speaker prosecutes the affair. The Speaker was not outside of the country. That wasn't the case. The Speaker was within. So for Deputy Speaker to be a sort of co-conspirator into this whole thing, that is just unbelievable. And for us to see in such a modern society, to see people who should be our elders, people who should be, who should take the lead in making sure the right thing is done. If they are violating broad daylight, doing things on purpose for political reasons, we saw how the Capitol building, I would say literally vandalized, because people felt they should do it, right? And we saw that happening. And yet, nothing was done. Yeah, this is a guy who was so much desperate to be the speakers, roaming all around self-introductions to validate his position. Listen to him.
Push our agenda. We need to have our own speaker. So today, an opposition speaker will not push our agenda. We need to have our own speaker. So today, I'm a regime speaker. So today, I'm a regime speaker. So today, I'm a regime speaker. The speaker of the Republic of Liberia is 100% supporting the excellent President Joseph Biden. No speaker from the opposition will promote us. So we, as politicians, sat and saw the people of the general there and they go any further. How still we pay the bill, the other damage. Whether it's asset recovery, it died. Or corruption code, it died. Whether ministry of local government, it died. Everything they always talk about. Because of Tourism Act, all those other acts of reform Nigeria, all those things died for the first 10 months. But as soon as we resurrected, in the Nigeria, all the bills can be passing. Because I don't know what our country to be. So never say this country and then an opposition be a speaker of the ruling party. It can be. So in there, we be careful use your money. When you only use your money,
That's the regime speaker. And no one, even from GOL or from even the United Party, for political purposes, never even distanced themselves and was seeing this thing playing out in broad day, dragging on and on and on. You have administration. I have no idea what he's actually making to reference. This one die, this one die. Who has the administrative power to execute to get this thing going? And they just want to pass bill. No verifications, no processes involved. No one should answer anybody. This is what Richard Coon is telling us. And from our indications, the president seems to be in accord with what he's doing. There is no way on planet Earth someone without the acquiescence or without the president being in the know, because it is the executive that provides in the security and everything to do what they did. If the executive does not, if the executive is not in accord, or if the executive was just left out of the short, there's no way this guy can do what they are doing. I was seeing this thing being dragged on and on and on. That's what happens when leaders are unable to take decisive decisions. Because this kind of character like this of Richard Coon type, those are the people that will say, we used to advise the president and the president didn't listen to us. The president was stubborn. So we saw that happening in real time. People did that with Samuel Doe. They did that with Charles Taylor. And these same tips, we're seeing them to be rewind in the different versions, in the different contexts. Broad day, putting democracy at risk. He wants to be a regime. So the connotation the word regime is what they say associated with. And now Richard Coon would be so brave to say that. I'm going to activate the line here to all waiting to see what the Supreme Court is going to say. But so that's the speaker though there. James Collier is the rule and other guy for the regime speaker to given the authority he led that here. Well, let me just put the line, the number out here. So let me activate this line here. What you think? Would they defy this? Whatever, would these people agree with the Supreme Court of Liberia if the decisions, if the verdict comes down? I'm not sure what are going to be the interpretations of the Supreme Court, but if you listen to some of the things the Supreme Court, if you listen to the argument, it was quite interesting. Let me see here what we can play as a surveys here. Let me make sure here, then I'll put a number. I'm not sure whether the audio is good, but I know you are listening to this. Okay. Let me just, I know you are listening to this, and that was the Chief Justice making those points. I'm going to take a commercial break quickly here, and we have the number posted to give your view, your opinion. As we all wait, the country is on edge in the sense that we're going to be coming out of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia with respect to both sides' arguments, making the case, their understanding, and the very, then everybody have their side. So let me just put this here. I'm going to be putting the number up, but let's take a quick commercial break, and I will be right back.
Do you want to share your events with the world? Why not contact us? We are Liberia Public Radio, LPR. We are the specialists in advertisements, commercials, radio and TV services. We have the professionals that can help you sell your products and provide live coverage of all events, such as weddings, conventions, graduations, reunions, anniversaries, sports, birthdays, baby showers, religious activities, funerals, and many more. Take your phone right now and call any of the following numbers: 682-433-8802, 267-648-6089, 484-786-3337, or 916-533-2048. Our customer service representatives are waiting to take your calls and give you the needed assistance. It is LPR, the home of excellent media services and your friends in business. Hello listeners, this is Mazola, the lover boy. I'd like to invite you to this exciting program. It is called Dancing for Jesus. It is intended to play beautiful inspirational music to help you turn your life to God. Join me on every Sunday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is our way of showing appreciation to God for the good things He has done for us and continue to do. Don't miss this opportunity. Join Mazola Gizi on every Sunday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the program Dancing for Jesus. Please be there because I will be here to rock it up for you.
That's the lover boy himself, Mazola Gizi. Okay, that's Mazola Gizi right there. The lover boy. Those are his programs. Dancing for Jesus comes on every Sunday right here. And just let us know if you are within the U.S. and even inside Liberia, you have a business, you have a memorable event that you you need a coverage. It can be a conventions, it can be a reunions, it can be whatever event, even at Davos, you want to do a live stream, who cares? Let us know. We can come there as well. If it is here, if it is in Liberia, let us know. Our team will also be there to bring those events, to bring it, present that sort of virtual event. That's what we do here on LPR, because we think everybody should have the opportunity to have, we can virtualize your event.
You've worked for months to bring your or your client's event to life, but unfortunately, the world had another plan. In reality, the only thing you lost is the venue. We take your vision for hosting a virtual conference and bring it to life online. No matter how complex your agenda is, we produce a smooth, engaging experience. Call the Liberia Public Radio today and schedule your event. Our number is 682-433-8802. If you prefer to submit your request via email, please send the request to liberiapublicradio2012@gmail.com. Our staff are standing by waiting for your phone call.
Okay, there you have it. We bring your events virtually as if the family persons or those who wanted to see it loud. They're going to see it clear. Very great quality images, high def presentations. And now we can broadcast both. It doesn't matter where we go, especially if you contact the New England Bureau. If it is from here, we are working to have that extension as well. It goes on Facebook and YouTube simultaneously at once. So let us know, especially from the New England Bureau now, to have that featured. We are working other outlets, other substations to also do their presentation. But that, it requires a high voltage quality internet service where you're going to broadcast both on Facebook and YouTube simultaneously at once. So the number is there. We intend not to stay much longer time. And we're going to be reaching out. If you notice, I've been telling you that we're going to be so breakable. I need to get your number. And if all of our follow here, like I told you here, we are not like one of those every evening, every afternoon, every little program, cash out, Zelle, give a $5, give a $10. No, we want to give a justification first when we want to ask. And I've said that, and I maintain that. Okay, breakable. Okay, breakable. Okay, number says, so I don't know what I'm asking him for. So let me just get here. He's one of the breakable reactions. Breakable. Good evening. Happy Sunday.
Yeah, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday.
You want to church today? You want to church today?
No, I want to church. I want to work today. I want to be.
Yeah, so every day you work. They're not there today.
No,
Last week.
We went to that work. It made me laugh when you said even Davos with the broadcast Davos. I was laughing.
Nothing wrong with that. People want Davos. Anybody who want you want Davos? Whatever you are, let us know. We can come and when people getting married, they can show age. That would be interesting. Somebody got to introduce something.
I told him, he started saying, I started laughing.
Oh, really? You see?
Yeah, he said everything you want to broadcast, calls, even Davos. I started only sound like that talking to me.
Okay. Well, what a good coincidence. Good evening. Yeah.
Look, I keep saying it. I say Labrador farming is not corruption. Labrador farming is sincerity and the people, the reality.
Okay, your good friend, the political reverend is here. Who are you calling in? You say I'm going to be coming on here. So Mr. Terry Collins is here, who is a science analyst of the Liberia Public Radio based in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Mr. Collins, good to have you. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, Mr. So.
Okay, breakable, carry it on.
Look, I want to people are discussing so. I said Labrador farming is not corruption. This is here. Even a pastor, not fair in a country. Even a pastor. When I listened to the video yesterday, then I started wondering whether we'll have a lawyer or we'll have a system. You talk about breaking World Crime Code or breaking TLC to be rule of law. Then you quoting other part of the rule of law to be outside that in your own favor. You know, to the extent it's also. It is also. Your playlist because you say you're just install by yourself for a while and start seeing the reality. So then when you sit down and see how Lpr going, it get a dream or video. Because what we created, what we saw or what we talk about what happened during the time that brought the war for 14 years, it even tended to become worse. People that complain about corruption, they are the more corrupt people today. The same people complain about, they are being double to the same. What are we going? And listen to lawyers interpreting the law in their own favor, in their own view. Even a pastor that's want to push the gospel, same thing for their own favor because of their own will.
Now, you see, Terry, and now you have to talk about pastor. That like only thing that one thing about you want to call Terry, need your call it.
And that Terry, no. They even down to all the bishops. You know what happened in Lpr? The job, one of the bishops went and made statement because they want to suspend him. Why can't I say that? So because of that, nobody can say truth. If you say truth again, you don't get nobody coming around your no big person will come to your church. It's not correct. And they say he said if we now find solution for everything, they want to happen will be worse. I'm very praying for it, they're not happy. Thank you for the show, man.
Okay, thank you. Okay, like I said, Breakable will be reaching out personally to our good friends, followers here who agree, disagree with us. And I mean, I've been very consistent here, but I think we are seeing the gateway. If I'm asking Breakable for his $10, Breakable must have a convincing reason. We must illustrate, we must see, we must visualize what we're asking that. But many of you rather give, you're not gonna give $5, you're not gonna give $20, you're not gonna give $25. So we know what we'll do. But I thank you so much, Breakable.
Thank you, boss man.
Okay. Hey Joyce, happy Sunday. Elaine, it's good to have you. Helena and Wilson, it's good to have you. Helena, why your friend Lebron? The Lebron, he been putting his foot in his throat. I'm telling you. Let's go here, Terry. I'll be coming to you. Let's go to this number from Connecticut. Good evening.
How you doing, sir?
Good. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, is that Sare?
Yes, sir, boss.
How are you? What?
I can't complain. Nobody will listen.
Oh, Lpr came to me to come gossip. I mean, Lpr said, oh, the people from Connecticut, they get malice against me or Wilton 9%. So I say, it may not be that Wilton. It may know all your tabata you'll be talking, and I can't talk out of tell him. He says, I did not play with me the other day. I said, well, you get report yourself.
No, man. You know, same thing that my own brother there, that my crown bastard brother there, so I can't mess with him.
Okay, so how's your day going so far? How was your day?
Well, the day is not bad, and you know, I appreciate you talking about. You know, every now and then we call on your show. For me, I call on your show openly, and you don't discriminate. I appreciate that completely. You guys are good people. And I am willing to chip in something tonight if I owe you, you know, try to solicit some funds in any kind of manner. But moreover, I would say you and Terry's on the show already, so I would say Terry, hello, my young little brother. But we've been seeing this thing here. What on my mind this night, before we can even go to that, what on my mind this night is about Liberia. We need Liberia to get on the red path. I was talking to you, I think, on one or two occasions that you guys, like you saw everything that was supposed to happen. It's like you're a prophet. Remember Saturday? If I pay your promoting, nothing Google to come all of this stuff here. And it's like everything you guys said is coming to pass. You know, it becoming embarrassing. And but we just pray for the best of Liberia, and we are hoping that one fine day all this leadership that we all, let's say, that we are personally promoted should come to their senses to change the course that they are on right now, because the train is going the different direction that we never expected it to go for us.
So let's talk here a little bit. What do you think is responsible? I'm going to be bringing to, because we got to be asking our folks to speak out here. I'm not a liberal. The liberal only not speak his language, then his phone develop tantrum, and then he caught you up. What do you think is responsible of what is happening?
I believe it is the people, the surrounding of the president. You and I know that the president, with all the experience, but you know, age has some effect on people. The older you go, the slower you become.
Yes.
Okay. So this man cannot be active as people who are younger or like you or myself with the age we have. This guy is about 80 years old or 80 years old plus. So he's slow. And people that he really thinks that will deliver are not doing what he expects, or what they are not delivering his expectation. And those are the things that are happening. And so he needs to come back to the drawing board to say, hey, I gotta be listening to, you know, different media institutions, or change the entire people around me and bring in different people for us to move the country forward. Okay? But I may be wrong. Some people can be older and they get plenty thinking. So if at all he is doing the thing that he wants to do, then I mean definitely he deceived us. That's one point.
So you know, it's good you call here. Now, you know, this concept, people around him, I'm not one of the favorite of that, because if you are the leader, you determine the directions of your government, you determine the directions of your policy, and not somebody. You bring these people with the hope to help. But if I bring somebody like in the system who's supposed to help and they are not helping, what should I do? I'm not gonna hold Kofi Woods, what he names Bijou Bent and Sylvester Grisby's. Those are people hired by the president, and if for any reason they are not providing the counsel that they should provide to the president, then of course it's on the president, because this sort of visual cycle with this sort of story was repeated on President Joy. We are the other people again. There are people who are around the president. Okay, you get people around you, they are not doing what they're supposed to do. What you should do as a leader?
Well, this is where going back to the drawing board comes from. He has to go back and revisit his manifesto, as people would say. His leadership have an agenda. The agenda he has, if at all these things, because we are still, let's say a year plus, so he still get time. He needs to come back to the drawing board and say, hey, I promised the Liberian people, and because of my character being impeccable, I had to go and redesign. These people that are around me, if they don't want to really deliver what is my intention, then of course I'll have to start doing change around me. And according to what you said, you are fully right. He has the mantle. He got the power to change things. People that are around him that want to enrich themselves will not tell him the truth. So he got to come to God, understanding to say, hey, we promised the people. We have to deliver what we promised.
So quickly, before I let you go. So you put your 2 feet on board with the train. Those 2 feet are still there, or one hanging outside and one inside?
Right now, hey, I'll be honest with you.
Uh-huh.
I am. You know, every other day when I call on here too, I don't bite and blow.
Mm-hmm.
I am saying, I come. In fact, my own brother Samson, he's surprised, but the truth is the truth. You know, if your expectation is not coming to pass, why you expect of somebody if it's not coming to pass? Then of course you start feeling weary, and this is what's happening. We are just hoping that this man will change, okay? But everything that was promised, it is not happening.
Sorry.
Yes.
That I ate salad already. I don't need no any other salad dressing. You're not answering my question. You see, you want to be like the liberal here. You don't think you're going to walk away here, but if you want to plead the fifth, you are at liberty. So my question is, what are your 2 feet still on board, or one outside, one inside? Where do you stand now?
Well, I would suggest be friend with you.
Mm-hmm.
I am watching to see whether Mr. Baka will deliver.
What are you watching again?
I just don't give up completely.
Okay.
So I am downhearted.
Okay, go buy some local zoo and get more energy so you'll be down up.
Okay.
So,
okay, like I said, I will call you on this number and try to do, okay, please?
Okay, yeah, sure, yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay, boss.
Okay, sorry. Thank you so much. Okay, let's welcome the People's Senator, a good friend and brother to the Honorable Sir Hadi Joseph of Moserado County. Senator, good morning. Good to have you all here. It's a long time. Hopefully, we're going to find time here. Let me bring in the political Reverend Terry Collins, senior analyst of the Liberia Public Radio. Are you chatting with the Liberal?
No, I'm not chatting with Liberal.
Or are you trying to call them? Your come or something going on here again? Yeah, let it come. Okay, Terry, good to be here. And I was just telling the audience, again, my apologies. Friday we wasn't on. Literally two Fridays because of what is happening in the community. Sometimes there's sometimes community having the events and then they reach out, that what would go to now our own. We're working by land by ourselves, self-supported. So some of these events help us to get our guys going, help us to maintain, to do what we're supposed to do as well. James Akwe, if you want to come on, just let me know. I can send you the link. So again, and that's what I said about we're going to talk all of those in the backyard sometime. But Facebook get a sort of crazy regulation that two persons cannot stream at the same time on the page. I don't know where they came from with this other stuff. See, like for example, even if I want to a function, you could do it or Liberal could do it, but we want it is that same page two administrators not doing that. It's a new role.
Wow.
This started last month. Yeah, some part of last month. So let me see. But good evening. Good to have you here. How was your Sunday?
Yeah, it's quiet, cool, nice. It's okay.
Okay.
How was yours?
Oh well, go money also. Oh, yesterday it's I think maybe we saw there was a funeral in the morning, in the evening.
Yeah, I saw you working very hard
since
Friday night.
Since Friday. Went to a wake Saturday morning funeral, like brain function, and when they say 10 o'clock, you add extra 2 hours. The white man says, "I never seen anything like this before." This I'm telling you. And then from there, the repast, and then late evening, there was some sort of birthday badge celebrations, recognitions, and all of that. Literally like 1 o'clock this morning. Got home and tried to rest whole day. I had to go back to work. Came from work. Gotta go finish out the cook, cook out now. We gotta finish out. We gotta finish out before coming here. So when you see sometime weekend is kind of somehow crazy. So I want you guys to understand it's not just about
No, but we can see the
But
work.
anyway, yeah. But good to have you here. What's going on? You know, talk to your guest, Sienna York and the Supreme Bench. What are they saying? What are you hearing from them? You know her and stuff like that. But it was quite interesting, that conversation here. Let's profile that stuff there based on what you heard. And I like how she was putting people in check, tutoring some of those folks, both the defense and the prosecutor from the so-called majority black. And she was very forceful. She was very vehement. She was going straight to the constitutions, reminding them what should have been, and it didn't. You know, it was quite interesting. Is it fair enough to come to a conclusion what the Supreme Court is going to be telling us as a nation, or we just need to hold our breath?
Well, we can preempt, but it's not solid enough. But I think she was more political than law-based articulating, because she became more political because she was angry. The Supreme Court bench were angry. I think they acted and spoke out of anger. And I think, you know, that was uncalled for of them.
You said the word
because they almost like interpreted everything they wanted to say. So that what's left for them to say now? Because even if they write anything, that particular historical event that transpired there in the argument between the argument and the full bench will remain a historical event, because the videos are all there. You know, so the full explanation to what the ruling says can only be interpreted as, you know, as compared to some of the things they were saying. But I thought that they were political. They became more political than coming from the law perspective.
So I did hear you saying they were angry. What do you mean by that? Angry with
well, the majority black angered them in a sense, or one of the representatives used the expression that one of the guy on the bench basically was talking liquor talk. And you don't want to aggravate the Supreme Court in any instance, even though you are a lawmaker, but you don't want to aggravate them, you know. And what his name? So yeah, and the boycott, Rachel Kuhn then boycotted the Supreme Court session that they had. There were seats that were left empty because they boycotted Rachel Kuhn on the SONA. So Rachel Kuhn then boycotted theirs. You know, so obviously they probably have been angry. So you could see the exchanges, the time they took to exchange with the majority black or lawyer was not the same time they exchanged with Arthur Johnson with the minority black on the lawyers. So you could see the disparity.
Yeah, but the part of that is my microphone. Am I audible good, folks? Are you hearing me better?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, but is that where you're coming from to say that there was some sort of anger within the Supreme Court? Because these are the people who are providing their legality in terms of what led them to remove the speaker, and it is within their purview as the rightful institutions that interpret the constitutions. And if there was any violations within the constitution with respect to how the speaker can be removed, the constitution was specific in some of those things there, pointing out those things that did not happen. Is that what you view as being angry?
Yeah, because most of the things they said was not in what they wrote. What they wrote in the ruling, most of the argument they put forth, most of the explanation they gave there with the exchange between them and Councillor Sherman, these people went to argue on bill of information. They start going all the way to talk about how the majority black is not, or how you call it, there is no legal terminology in the law that talk about majority black.
Is
they
there
start
anyone
to go above the limit.
So no, hold on, Nana. Is there anything that is within the Constitution, enshrined in the constitutions of majority black?
Well, I don't know of that but there is majority in the Constitution according to Article 33.
Yeah, but that 33 also explain how you get to that majority.
Yeah,
it's not just by having the.
But
there's a process involved to get you to that majority. I think that was the overall.
Yeah, there's a process involved, but the mean majority is stated in the Constitution. The mean majority is stated in the Constitution, so you can say that.
Are there hooks on those majority? That's
are there
what? Are there any hooks in terms of, yes, you have a majority, but you have to have
there is no.
You have the two-thirds.
No, there is no black, like to say you have a majority black and you have a minority black, but the way in which they presented to the podium.
Which way? They are talking about what the law says, Terry.
No, they're not. The law. They became biased, Mr. So look at the way the people argue on the thing. Things that they never said in the ruling, they brought it up in the argument. Things that they never said.
But remember,
she talked about chaos. She talking about chaos.
Was also an argument where both sides will be making their legal argument. And it is also within the purview of the Supreme Court, because hearing from both sides, based on that, they're going to be making their decision. And it was good. It was an open forum that the public witnessed it. So if you and I go to court, and that's the difference. The court, very few circumstantial, but the court more or less specific to issues that violate either the constitutions or the law, if there was anything. So they are also obliged to point out those issues if those issues were ignored because of political reasons. Is that why you consider bias?
But that's what I'm saying, that the issue was not ignored. She even asked the question by the lawyer from the minority black, that they stated that the ruling of the Supreme Court was violated. So she said, but how was it violated? How was their ruling violated? Because she said they don't have the power, they don't have the right, based upon the separation of power, they don't have the right to impose their will on another branch of government. Their role is only to interpret the Constitution. That's why even the minority black or lawyer said that the court determined, you said that Honorable Kofa was legitimate speaker. She said, no, we did not use the word legitimate. You see, because they do not have the authority to determine who in the House is legitimate or not. They don't have the authority to do that. What is before them is to interpret what they have already interpreted, what they said. That was the bill of information, is for them to interpret in clearer terms the ruling that they gave. So that is what she said. So in other words, she don't have the power. The Supreme Court does not have the power to dictate to another branch of government as to how they should carry on their function. You see, so every one of them. This is the first time I saw. Look at the way they argue the case, right, Mr. So these people argue better than the time the case went before them first. That is why I said they were angry. Every single justice on the bench spoke to the issue, and every one of them descended upon Councilor Sherman. Every one of them descended upon him. And so this is just a bit of information.
That was the final. The first hearing we didn't see it public. It was heard off camera. But this was a presentation. So whatever people felt, the interpretations, maybe I think that was the best time for them to all of them to be heard.
But they were late. They were late. And this is what this is
So your argument here
this
is
is where I agree.
your argument it should have been done a long time ago. Is that your argument?
Right. It should have been if they had to interpret it in the simplest term for everybody to understand, it was going to be done earlier than now. But what you have done now, anything they try to do now, they will put the country in a stalemate, and it will get worse than what they should have done. This is why I agree with Councillor Verdier. Yesterday, when Councillor Verdier said that, and I agree with him, because he said, Councillor Verdier said, this is not a constitutional matter. Why is it not a constitutional matter? That is Cynthia brought here with what he named.
Yeah.
Mr. Akwe, how you doing?
Yeah, what's up?
So don't act like you already sent text to Akwe to come. Akwe,
no, I did not.
Why you do? When
I don't even have the
start getting
number.
heated, then you start sending messages on a cover to young people. You come. This guy is trying to beat me up, but that is okay. So don't act like
don't worry, Liberal. Maybe Liberal will soon pop up.
There you go. Maybe Washington will soon come again. So Jared Washington will come. That which is okay.
But actually, I don't have Mr. Akwe number. And me and Liberal have not even spoken. But here is the thing, here, Liberal.
I'm going to get his number tonight.
Yeah, I told what his name, Liberal, that if you look at the Constitution on Article 49, Article 49 is telling you that a resolution with 49 can remove the Speaker. Article 49 in the Constitution did not lay out the procedure of how that 49 should be gained and how the process should go on. It didn't lay it down. It just said 49 votes with a resolution by cause shall remove the Speaker. So what's the process
so first of
in
all,
the Constitution?
Okay, so first of all, that vote, did we see that vote taking place in Chambers?
Yes, they said they got a vote.
No,
what they said.
What they say, you believe in. I'm asking you whether that vote took place.
Well,
okay, let me welcome James Akwe. Jim, I don't know what Jim, are you a liberal or what?
I'm sandwiched. I'm between the two. Yeah, I'm sandwiched.
But more or less, you are more liberal than being.
Yeah, than being the other side, especially when it comes to to these issues.
Okay, so good to have you here. It's happy Sunday, by the way. How was it? How the Sunday went?
Yeah, the Sunday, I mean, great, and the rest of it. I just came from a community meeting. Yeah, very tough community meeting out there in Waterloo. Yeah,
more than the majority black and minority black, right? Or you're developing another block on our side.
No, man, no. We don't have. I mean, Waterloo is a very kind place. Trust me, and we're trying to keep it real civil and peaceful and kind, man, and to try to move our community forward and for the betterment of ourselves and of our posterity, our children. Yes. Yeah, but over to
let me recognize my sister here that I'm going to be coming in, which is married to the Slangat. Good evening. Good to have you here. Happy Sunday here. Are you still on the train, the rescue train, James?
Yes, that's a train I'm going to remain on for some time. Trust me, I'm not going to get off. And because I see a glimmer of hope, I mean, things definitely gradually will unfold for the Liberian people. And what do I see? What do I see now? I see that Liberia will be connected to La Côte d'Ivoire with a bridge that will be constructed under Baka administration. And just about a year ago, official government under George Weah went through Maryland to make it to La Côte d'Ivoire. So a bridge will be connected over and to connect the two countries, of course, and that bridge is going to be over the Kavala River. What I also see is that Bon County will be connected to Bapulu. I mean, yes, we should be very much happy for that. I also see rural electrification for one of the first time, especially inhabitants of the Southeast. Let's go to Greenville, Sano. We'll be seeing electricity for the first time. And also people in Josh Weah era, Barclayville, Grand Cru, as well as part of Grand Bassa will be experiencing electricity. What I also see I see a 30 million rice processing project for Liberia. We know what the issue of rice definitely has done to the country. So when I see these things, and I know definitely it's going to make our people much more joyous and happy. So yes, I say yes. And though there are some challenges and difficulties along the way, but I feel happy, I feel gleeful, I feel elated that yes, things might be slow, but yes, the Unity Party is doing those things to make Liberia much more happy. So indeed, that train will remain on the rescue train. Yeah. And we know we know our friends definitely on the other side of the aisle will get much more frustrated because when they begin to see, President Boakai, delivering on promises, like we're talking about reversing and revisiting a number of deals, the CTM deal, and Arsenal Material and other areas. These are things that President Kennedy Boakai spoke of. So when we see at the legislature people beginning to revisit some of these laws, yes, we feel happy. This is what Liberian people voted for, and this is at least, what they will get before they end up the administration. And on the basis of what they will do, trust me, Liberians will definitely reward again the ruling Unity Party. Yes.
Definitely right. James Akwe is his live online here this evening. But talking about rural connectivity, I talked just before coming on air. I talked to someone from inside Liberia late this evening.
Yeah.
And I want something. If he keeps up with that and the focus, and that's what people don't know, the connections of country connections is very vital. It brings in economic growth. It gives farmers to get their products to vendors, and there's interactions, businesses moving here and there. And the person that told me, he said, if that continues, if the president, you see, and that was one of the mistakes.
Yeah.
The CDC wanted to do multiple things at the same time without then sort of trying to string down the development agenda. You want to get this going, you want to get this going. Be kind of keep the focus, get something, maybe when you're finalizing, then you grab the other one. So the person told me, I think quota literally is interpreter, even though they are leaving some other spots behind. Yes. I'm not like you guys. You guys, yeah. If it's happened, good. And I was
I don't know what I'm seeing. Like North Dakota I'm seeing North Dakota and Iowa. I don't know how.
So I said, asking, I said, but why did he said the reason they are leaving some of these spots because some of those places they need bridge. They have to build a new bridge, and they are earmarked that what we are. In fact, the president I talked to, they were already leaving from Rawlspeed just before. I said a message in the group. I was coming on 8 just in that time. The call came, and we have to talk. That they are in fact pick up from the rubber field side again.
Okay.
What was the place he called this place here? One of the terrible places. They are kind of like Get That Hill or whatever. Doing some great work, and I say, yeah, this is what we want to see.
Yeah.
So when something good is happening to the country, we must speak. When it's bad, but like you guys, everything, even when you're for breaking your say, you will still be.
No. And you see, and so let me just hold there a little bit. And this is where some of us, we try to set the difference. The difference between us and the guys on the other side. For us, yeah,
James. Who are those guys?
Yeah, I'm talking about seditions. I'm coming there. And let me just say this much. When the government begins to do those things that are illicit, wrong, and people complain, of course we speak of it. But our friends on the other side, everything that Josh Weir did was Lord and gospel, was always correct. Today, we can come here and say, hey, the Liberia we want, the Liberia we envisioned, we should be clear to individuals we call our friends, speaking the truth to them. Our friends on the other side, Alfonso So, you know too well, they will not speak any wrongs of the CDC or we don't run administration like that. When we begin to correct, the Boakai administration, well, flagging their wrongs and the rest of it, then they begin to do better. That's it. And that's, I mean, it helps leadership. But when you begin to sit there and always say bootlicking and always praising the leader, you'll always have a problem. Hey, there are issues under the Barker administration that needs to be tackled. We can talk about it. President Barker needs to do more when it comes to tackling the issue of corruption. We will not leave that out. No. Our friends on the other side, we're not talking nothing like that. They sat there when George Weah took $2 million to come, to watch his son playing or watching the World Cup and to marry me with $2 million. They never said anything yesterday. They said it was right. They never said anything. You see that? So when Liberians went to the polls, it's on the basis of what that government did, and that's why they booted it out. So we will not sit here and allow our friends in government, do wrong, and we don't speak of it. No, we're not doing that. And that's the difference. That's the difference between people who support George Weah and other people who support the Unity Party as well as Joseph Human Boakai. And you know that too well, so you know that too well. We are also vocal on our people. Yes. Let's face the fact.
Okay, let's bring in the most religious guy on this network, Terry. Is he on point? Is that what been happening? And if so, is the president and his administration gradually listening? Because these voters, people that are getting angry, will put you there. This is what we want you to do. And like I said, I don't like the concept of people, the people that are around the president. No, because that is just excuses, and it's a pathway to corruption, to bad governance. The people around. Who brought up people? You brought them. So if they are doing things out of the way, you must be the one to get them out. We don't know them. You brought them. And we know it's a team, it's a teamwork. But if you have 2-3 players on your team and they are more or less being like a handicap instead of being a good asset, it is your responsibility as the leader. Says, you know what, cut a coach, this guy, he does not have the required stamina to continue the 60-minute match. He can't even play the first half, so he needs more training. Is the president gradually understanding, getting the language of his voters? People that went through their reigns, he said people protected the ballots to defend their votes, and that we saw that happening. Is he getting to that point, or is just a temporary thing that we're going to beat, and then later on it's going to go down the hill?
Yeah, I think the president is he's in the middle. He's not fully grasping everything that is happening in and around the country. And I don't want to blame the people around him, because the president is not ignorant to the situations that he went through for 6 years under President Weah. So he's aware greatly, even if they try to say, don't listen to news and don't listen to radio, don't watch the TV. He is aware, all right, of the intricacies in the country. He's aware of it. So, but he's in the middle. What I mean by he's in the middle, he's not like President Weah, what did not listen to the people, what pretended as if to say the people did not exist, as far as he was concerned.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
President Barker takes action on issues, and it have come to our awareness now that President Barker has a certain pattern that if he suspends a person, that person might likely not come back. That awareness is a leadership awareness that the country have already gathered to understand about him, about his form of leadership that is completely exclusive from the former president. The former president never took action on nobody, regardless what people say, regardless the exposure.
Yeah, but so himself can admit to that. We have never took action against anybody.
I know that he got this other tutor from Sierra Leone. That's what they do, though. With their president, their people, when they ready to dismiss you, just easier they send you a compulsory leave study. Whether you want study or you don't want study, you still go study. It left with you, whether you want to continue or not. Just go study. When you finish, you come back. But when you say go study, you go for good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he got something, but the aspect of people, Liberians need to learn how to follow news the right way. I want to believe the media to play a major role in the propaganda mechanism to change the narrative of how people should think. And when the people look at the condition that they're living in, and somebody can't tell, oh, the president stole 100,000. You know, the president using 100,000 car. They don't sit to analyze.
Those things happen in the past, correct?
Yeah,
So is it a
but that's what I'm
surprise?
saying
Is it a
now.
surprise now that what's happening now?
It's not a surprise. That's what propaganda is all about. So the government now should have the mechanism. They should have the arm. They should be able to arm some media institution to change the narrative. You see, that is why I always like to follow Punch News, because when I listen to other media, I have to go to Punch News. I come to Lpr to balance, to see, to listen to what it's saying. Because you mind the news media, you wake up in the morning, you just see someone a headline on the newspaper, certain newspaper, you know exactly that this narrative is completely wrong, and this is the narrative they want to present to the populace so that they can carry it and believe it. And if you don't curb that narrative as a government, it will bring you down. It will be the deciding factors of your fall.
Okay, so then quickly here to this point here, and then quickly then Jim can speak to that. Is it fair to say then the former George Weah government, CDC, was a victim to that as well?
Yes, yes, I agree. But Mr. So we have been saying the same thing on the show all the time. When I used to tell you, say, the people, they don't respect the media. I used to call on your show, I used to tell you. Because they don't understand the power that the media have. You see, you know who in the country respect the media? You see the representatives, the senators, eh?
Yeah.
They pay the media more than the government, the executive itself. Because the executive do not respect the media. That is the reason why the power can shift from their hands without them even knowing about it. The people who understand the media very well is the senators and the representatives.
They understand it, yeah.
They understand the narrative. They know how the importance of the media. That is why any news come upon them, they run straight to the radio, the most popular radio station. They get there, they fire back. If you observe Rachel Kuhn, there is no information that is put up by someone by Spoon Network or whatsoever that is contrary to him that he don't put up a resisting counter.
Yeah, immediate response. Yeah,
immediate response. He responds immediately because the media is the group that have the power to change the narrative of the people thinking towards their government. But how many of these guys know about it? So, they sit down on the high horse, they talked about that, and that is what if this government not careful, that what would destroy them.
Okay, if this government not careful. James, journalist, let me just bring you in. And I think that's the difference. That's why you see Helen brought in the late our guy, formerly with Linant, and then representative, what his name? May so rest in peace. Former representative for Sano County. Let her hold that. My goodness, wow, I forgot his name.
Mabutu?
No, not Mabutu. I'm talking about this fellow in Philly era here, man. Representative, he was a media guy. Later on, he elected. I'll call his name. Oh my goodness. Anyway, if a name comes to mind, I will call his name. You know him, but for some reason he had that guy, and so the name just slipped. No,
let me just take the time out. Let me take the time out.
Is that Tom Kamara?
No, not Kamara. He was former director of Lina, man. This guy.
Yeah, the name just slipping. Yes.
Yeah, it's for some, you know, somebody that be here, man, like flipping been too. But do you think, with that said, Helen Johnson Sirleaf was one of the presidents, even though under her administration much was not done, but she never overlooked, and that's one of the reasons she got.
Oh, you're talking about Nangbe's Law.
Nangbe's Law. There you go, Nangbe's Law.
Yeah.
And that's why Helen knew exactly who Nangbe stuff, and those are people quickly she recruited and brought them in the system because she knows the power of the media and people who have caused trouble for her, and quickly they're making those deals here. Do you think the Unity Party, with all that is going on, do they have the strong machinery, media people to overcome with it in terms of argumenting government policy? I'm not just talking about somebody say something they don't like, blah, 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 and talking there's some kind of train, no break. No, but who understands? Because when they speak beyond the borderlines, speaking to other people indirectly. Do you think the president is working towards that? Because we're still seeing other little chihuahuas speaking here and there and think they are in defense of the president. And that's what's the big handicap of the CDC government. City mayor ready he speaks. The other lawmaker ready he speaks. You need to have a few people who will be able to reconstruct things when it's happening. Do you think President Boyka is understanding that language now?
Yeah, I think President Boyka has a very strong media team. Trust me, I can say that. You know, one of the issues or one of the problems the CDC had, I mean, was that you had almost everybody wanting to be press secretary, and everybody can do that job. Everybody, yeah, yeah. You have everybody. They are Carlos Gray. I mean, who else? I mean, everybody just, I mean, running with the news and the rest of it, and you don't see. You technically do not see that happening within. I mean, this leadership. It tells you that. I mean, it borders on what and on maturity, that the guys are somehow mature and they understand exactly what they are doing. You see what I'm citing when it comes to, I mean, developmental initiative being taken under the Barker administration. How do I know that? I mean, I mean, this is part of the media team. I mean, I got it just from their Facebook pages and the rest of it. I mean, when the government is doing this, it's always important to be able to flag it out. I mean, to say it and say it real loud. So, I mean, when it comes to, I mean, the media, look, there are things happening. If the Barker administration had a very weak media team, look, what you looking at now, I mean, the guy somehow was going to succeed in breaking and tearing down, but they don't easily penetrate. They know. They see, the firebrand responses. I mean, and sometimes it's very important that the responses sometimes have to be firebrand. The responses sometimes, cool and the rest of it. But it's a mixture of both of them. And I see that the ruling establishment somehow, when it comes to information dissemination and sending the message out, is somehow good. You recently, when it comes to this possible issue of the Liberian government, the U.S. embassy and the rest of it. In no time, what happened was that you saw the foreign ministry visiting or going directly to the Senate, and she made it very clear that there is no information and there is, no communication from the U.S. about this, and it was confirmed from this end. Later on, what did we see? You saw that the U.S. embassy right there started what? It came out with a release. When it comes to praising the foreign ministry about tackling the issue of diplomatic, passport and the rest of it. And that's exactly what we're talking about. You don't need to waste time. My brother was just talking about the law of immediate response. Immediate study is something called the law. You don't delay, but you never had, the kind of strong media, operating, under the we administration. That's what the guys will always say during the George Weah time, that, oh yes, the people lie on us. The people said this, they lie on us. It tells you, about the coordination, about the operation, about how the guys somehow succeeded, the likes of Moali, Patrick Horner, and when they were in opposition, under the Unity Party, it tells you how they succeeded, somehow in sending the information across. And I want to believe, just you wouldn't need to wait a little bit. More of that definitely will happen. So I believe that, and President Barker really or truly has a crack media team. And because of that, our friends will continue to complain. They will cry, they will worry, but we care less in a way. It's part of the game. It's part of you know, the strategy. I mean, we have to do those things. I mean, tell the Liberian people that, hey, this is what President Boakai is doing. I mean, we're not hiding it. You know, when roads have been paved across and connecting to Bapulu, when people used to walk around there, President Salim walked there for about 2 hours. I went there along with the president. When you heard that the president walked in the Benin Forest for 2 hours, some of us were there. You see that? And today we're talking about roads. I mean, going there under the Barker administration. Of course, that. I mean, so just wait a little bit. So when these things are happening under the Barker administration, developmental wise, you see it. The guys go there. I mean, Eugene Fagon will send his boys. You know, I mean, you will see it. I mean, you're not only hearing it. So the guys are doing well. And so Liberians are resonating with it. They come with it, and Liberians are truly seeing what the United Party-led government is doing as compared.
More to be done.
Yeah, and more to be done. I agree with you. More to be done, and we're not leaving that out to say, oh yes, I mean the Barker administration is, I mean 90%, 100%. No, more needs to be done. But I will always say they are sincere steps. They are honest steps. It might be baby steps forward, but at least the people are not stupid. People are beginning to see realities. People are beginning to see, I mean, genuine change. Though very small, it might be somehow small and thing, but it's seeing some genuineness. They're seeing some, light at the end of the tunnel to say, yes, the old man means well for the country. And because he means well for the country, the guys will do the politics all over. Like the issue at the legislature, that issue is completely political. For me, I believe that whole thing is just intended to delay the development of the government. That's all. It's completely political.
But
And
who creations? I intend not to. Now you want to renegade this. Yeah, this is what.
Let me just get this. I witnessed the departure of about 2 speakers in a particular place. I agree with Jerome Verdier yesterday when he said, in the first place, this was not something to be entertained by the Supreme Court. Trust me, the thing was purely political. The Supreme Court would have earlier told this guy, hey, go by and settle this thing. Imagine if the justice in chambers is going to look at you and say, there is no law that compel lawmakers from the majority side to go and sit under phonetic cover. So what further ruling?
What law they ruling on?
Yeah.
What law
there is no law that compels lawmakers from the majority side to go and sit under phonetic cover. What kind of Alfonso? What kind of ruling the other people waiting for now? They got no. Any other ruling that will be coming out again will be like the first one. It will be like the last one. The guys will always be sent. And that's what some of us said, time of odd numbers, that these things cannot be solved at the court. It can be solved right among themselves there. And this is just one of the many tactics. It's just one of the many tactics or by the opposition to delay the development, of course, because they know that Barker wants to do more.
I don't know when you say the oppositions,
especially the CDC. Yeah,
the CDC, they all have. I mean, CDC. I mean that is the most bizarre thing.
You get lawmakers,
people to remove their own speaker. This is just. I don't get it. You have a speaker, the number 3 person in the country, and you have to facilitate the removal of that person. So I'm not sure what's going through their mind. This comes to the point of our people. There is no political ideology. These people, they join party either based on popularity. If I go this way, if I go that way, I will get the ball at the end of the day. That's exactly where it is. But Terry, let me just come to you. We're going to be wrapping out here by 10:30. It's Sunday evening, so everybody can get a rest for Monday work.
We hope to get some calls, man. I mean, are you not?
Yeah, well, the line up to say you are answering all of the questions, so they intend not to call, which is okay here. So,
no, I mean, there was a guy but my brother, just before you to go on to this guy, I'm hearing about the death of a friend, Tapla Davis, Tapla Davis, Zolizo.
Yeah,
I mean,
Zolizo.
Yeah, years back, years back, Zodi Zonza and I met in a number of classes there at the University of Liberia, doing a number of calculus and math courses like Math 107 and Math 201, Calculus 1, Calculus 2. I mean, though we had our political differences, and one point in time he was on a particular show, and I came out to talk, and he said, "Look, you leave. You say you leave. I quit, man. You leave. I quit." When I heard, the demise of Zodi Zo, oh, I mean, trust me,
Yeah.
though we have our political differences, but somehow we were friends. So to his family, friends, and the rest of it, I say, like in our Liberian parlance, you're normal, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's painful, a young man, man, a young man. I remember years back when we all used to go sit there at 404. There's a place there at the university called 404 on a big rock, and we'll begin to eat, kobo and the rest of it. I still reflect on those times, with Zodi Zo. It's through him, in fact, that I started knowing and Samuel Twe. I entered at a time when Twe and others were already, about to graduate. So to the family of Zodi Zo, I mean, Tapla Davis, that's his name, Tapla Davis. I mean, you're normal, you're sorry. I mean, as a young man, and the rest of it. Yeah, when I heard it, it struck me somehow, today,
Yeah, I was just talking
Yeah.
about it here, and he's a very smart guy.
Yeah, smart guy, smart.
There's this sort of everybody that aligned with CDC for whatever reason to just take them to be like some kind of person. That was not the case. So he was a smart, very smart.
Yeah, smart guy.
People, their
we
loyalty exceed reality in terms of how their support system is being. But quickly here, Terry,
then we're not getting calls to now, so it means Terry and James are going answering all the questions. We want to know questions. Let's edition calls so that we can be able to respond to their calls. The likes of Isaac Jackson, the likes of Isaac Jackson, all those. We want the calls to come in so that we can be able to respond to those calls. The Unity Party is here to stay. President Boakai and members of his team definitely will work to move the country forward. And as a result of what they will do, Liberians will reward the Unity Party again in 2029. I know our friends on the other side of the aisle, the CDC, they do not want to hear this, but this is the reality. Over to you.
For some reasons, everybody that I thought reached out to come later, I was big time deceived. Everybody, this network is infested with Washingtons. I mean, everybody came in, I got to know they are all more or less UPAs or sympathizers of President Joseph Newman Boyka. But it is what it is. So, it's actually she was saying something. When we're talking about this whole public relations and we have said that how the media, because they had these people. I don't know, it's out of ignorance or whatever it is. Don't mind it. You don't need to respond. That is a very dangerous path. If the media gets over something, you see, Samuel Doe, because it was kind of a little bit dicey because there were a lot of extended support in terms of. But he had a very, very good media taint. The late Emmanuel Bouya, he had Moses Washington, C. Alenzon Carper, who was Minister of Information. Those people, when something, Ambassador Givens, and all of those people, I say, when something happened, those people just jump right on it to get it out. And they are speaking, they speak beyond the borderline, because at the end of the day, the real damage gets to the outsider, because when it's perceived and it's been seen differently with the outsider, then that's where those diplomatic pressure, the international community comes in. That did not happen by CDC. You have by the former city mayor, some of the lawmakers, every day can turn. They call the president name.
Yes, responding to every issue for that matter.
Even things that they don't know about. I think that is being regulated. But talking about that, I've been seeing lately our own man, Comrade Kerselit, and one of the strong person that brought the rescue, been going head to here with Stanton Waterspoon of Spawn Network. Kezo, I think you have seen some of his posts, some of his writing, and all of that. That gives me a sense, seems to be like some sort of disconnect now that is taking place between the Waterspoon and that of Joseph Newman Boycott. Because those guys that are around, the Coffee Wolves, those Moja, socialists, progressive now, they know how to play that game. So right now, I say, look, what was then was then. Now you are the president of the Republic of Liberia. There's no need now that so they are doing everything possible to make sure not to block him, but to get a sort of far line. And Aqua will speak to that here. Terry, do you see there is some sort of disconnect now? Who used to be a darling of the Unity Party, for whatever reason, they and the CDC broke rank, sent on to Waterspoon. There seems to be a little disconnect now. Something is unusual. Something is not happening now.
Yeah, and I think it's going to hurt the Unity Party government if they do not put their heads together and put some strategies into place to tackle Stanton Waterspoon, because Stanton Waterspoon have nothing to lose. And if they think that they can use Fagon against what Stanton Waterspoon, they will miss it, because Fagon don't have the sophistication to deal with, to tackle the propaganda that Stanton Waterspoon is used to narrating, because Stanton Waterspoon do not only have the capacity to do that, he also has seditionists now, guru from the CDC camp who understand the issue, know the political party, know the Unity Party, and they can destroy them anytime. So what Stanton is doing there, he gathers the information from the very inside sources because he paid for it. And once they get him the information and he bring the unit, the sedition that know how to discuss the issue, they can burn the Unity Party very badly. And I think that is what's happening. And again, Stanton Waterspoon is a businessman. Politics is interest. One way or the other, they broke away on the basis of interest. I want to believe that 100%. All right.
And that gap was also created from the Joseph Newman boycott. And we were told there was a very heated argument when he was promulgating, when he was pushing the idea of having this monopoly over with this whole right importations. It's actually true that cut that ties with the CDC-led government, and he tries to kind of like roll over that to the United Party. Yeah, and those progressive and those progressive Moja boys, they say, hold on, wait a minute. This cannot happen. We all know there's some sort of indictment and all of things hangs over this guy. If we did that, and any of this such happens, what could be the future of this country? So somebody took a break straight there. Let's answer the question, Terry, I bet you quick here. Let's go to Connecticut. What are these violations of the Constitution? Good evening.
Yeah. Can I get that your info? Let's say the information of your cash app or something.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. So let me tell you. We need to make some money, my man. What is that?
Somebody talking something different?
No. I listen to you.
I said we need to make some money. We need to make some money for our network.
Oh yeah, but I want to tell you, I want to be honest with you. Why we want to make some money? The one you give me another Sunday when the real time come where we need it, it will still come. So anyway, the same number is on Cash App, is on Zelle. So when you type it, you're gonna see that Liberia Public Radio.
Okay, so I'll put you the number, right? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, no problem.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to tell Brother Aku, who on the line there, people cannot be sugarcoating this administration or all the downfall of the administration. Right. There are a lot of things that's not going right. So if you see that the old man is coming, is doing, getting on track, or even with the House of Representatives, all the chaos that's going on there, if you're thinking that it does not mean any kind of a serious problem, then I don't know where you're coming from. Because you know that if a man come with a slogan that, hey, we are the person, I am the person to change this country, and then within a shorter period of time, a lot of mistakes happening, then of course that raises concern. So there's nothing that somebody going to come on an air to be sugarcoating. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Terry, carry on quickly before we wrap up.
Yeah,
Sorry for interruption. That's the last call for the line.
Yeah, I think that JMB then smart enough, because if that information is actually true, that means Stanton Waters won't have an ambition to become president, because rice is a political commodity in Liberia. Anybody who ready, especially your Liberian that want complete monopoly over rice, moreover you control a media, you control the media, that means you have a political ambition, which you have the entitlement to do that. But my thing here is, Deborah, I want to disagree with the honorable man, Mr. Akwe, that the Unity Party is actually having a strong media team. I don't think so. I think the Unity Party have a team that they think is strong, but it's not, because they are not making effective communication. And I think you're a journalist, you're supposed to know that. The journalism is effective communication. You know, when your communication is not adequately resonating with your commuters, those who you're communicating to, you know, it will not be, you know, you will not be effective. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are so many unanswered information that the Unity Party have not fully clarified. Look at what Daniel Sano did the other day with the former president. All right. And now the former president is gaining popularity. His popularity has gone up. Everywhere he goes now in town, people gathering. You seen it? Because just sometimes, just from what Daniel Sano said, you see, you have timing is very important. You have to, there are certain time you have to let go certain things, and you pay no mind to it and no attention. All right. The vice president, common citizen, he just said that, then everybody pick it up. I hear Eugene Fagon on the radio saying, you know, the president not working, he working. So, I mean, the former president not working. So, and these guys control major media entities. You're supposed to be showcasing the work of the president, the rules. You're supposed to be carrying, you control the broadcasting system of the country.
Yeah, but I don't know.
On the highway.
If you watch LNTV and other areas, you will see exactly what the Unity Party-led government is doing. They send reporters around. It's on LNTV.
But James, that is, I mean, that's part of the job. That's a state broadcasting corporation.
I
don't know. Okay,
no, he's saying,
hold on, you're going to come in here. What he's saying here, the remarks, statement coming from Sandra Johnson's being edified by Eugene Fagon. I don't know whether he understands that his position is equivalent to a ministerial position. He attends cabinet meeting. For he, you know that you work with the State Broadcasting Corporation. You will never have people that, I know there was some ridiculous statement that God had you come into trouble with Doe, but that time he was a military person.
For me, I would not sit there and support any official of government just coming and claiming at another person, character-wise. No, you know, I would not. I mean, I would not elevate that. You know, I think we should be able to devote our own time, you know, to the issues about telling the Burundian people what the administration is doing. I definitely, you know, agree with that. But to begin to, I mean, engage in attacks and getting at person's character and the rest of it, no, I'm not going to purchase that. I'm not going to ring bell on that one. But I would tell you definitely, you know, that, and the media team, of course, of the Unity Party, I don't know, but in my view, I mean, this is the crack team, and because somehow if you say that they might be having some leakages, somehow, and every institution for that matter, we all have our own pitfalls, and we can always try to improve on it. We can always try to develop on it, but we can't compare the two to say, oh, I mean, the past administration media team ain't nowhere now. Past administration, you have almost everybody in the government speaking.
Yeah, but no, I agree, Mr. Akwe. I'm not really comparing and contrasting. I'm talking about being able to defend yourself enough so that you can be able, that you talk about 2029 coming rigging. How sure are you going to rig it right now? Like, look at the Nicotech issue. How the Ministry of Information handle it to an extent. Somebody or media or sophisticated media person resigned and went on the media to expose the institution. That does not show that you have a crack media team. So, you know, and they did not handle the Nicotech issue properly. They were careless about it. And even though that have laid to rest now, it's going to come up in the future. You understand? And there are many other things that they have been poorly able to actually handle when it comes to information dissemination. I want to believe that they are improving, they're doing better than the former leadership. But they are not ready being able to curtail some of the issues are being here. And I think they need to revamp their capacity. That is where I'm coming from. I'm not comparing them with CDC because look, most of what CDC did, you can't compare it with this leadership.
Thank you, my brother. Yeah. And I want to salute you for that. I mean, could I give my parting comment or the message on his parting comment?
Yeah, well, yeah, because you're gonna give it them because it look like you're enjoying it here tonight.
Yeah, okay. Let's give a parting comment.
Like disagreeing with you.
Can go ahead, Mr.
Later on your phone coalition and thing. But before that, I want to say a big thank you to our man, one of our regular listener, follower, caller, Mr. Tayote Saturday. Just send the donations of $75 for us out of his own relations.
Wow, thank you very much.
Really appreciate that, and to all of the other members. But like I said, we're going to be coming out, hopefully maybe this week. We're waiting to finalize what we are doing. Some of the analysts, they don't even know yet, but we want to take the bull by the horn, and then the cow will eat your own baby. And like I say here, in as much we want something, we must give a valid reason why people will give us $5, $10. Yeah. We do not want to take advantage of Liberians' gesture, their good way, their benevolence act, and just giving something. But when they're giving it, I know they're giving because something move, something that is seed, that we get, and we are literally at that point. So, guys, let's wrap it up before we go.
Okay, talking about wrapping it up, and let me give my parting comments. It has been a tough time. I mean, it has been a tough time, and I know it will all be tough. It's not going to be soft. It's not going to be easy. And leadership is all about working in the interest of the people. Leadership is all about doing those things and that will change the lifestyle or the livelihood of the people, I mean, in a much more positive fashion. So yes, it's on that basis that Liberians, went to the polls and they decided to put a knife and kill the leadership of Josh Weah, killing it with door knife, a painful death. That's what our leadership definitely experienced. And usher in and candidate Joseph Ivan Boakai as president of the country. When he came in, and we saw him taking some actions, declaring his asset, encouraging his official government to do same. And at a particular point in time, and we saw some actions, somehow, when people do things in government, and like we saw what happened at Lpr-Tv, the issue of Patrick Woolsey, and we don't see Patrick Woolsey there any longer. And another era, and is it at the Ministry of Commerce? Yes.
Do you think? We don't see them there later, but is it conclusive? Something.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. It may not be conclusive, but at least we don't see them there, and we see a president. I mean, that is much more, pragmatic, taking actions and listening to the ordinary people. What am I saying is that we want more of the actions, and not only just getting them out, but let's prosecute these people. I mean, need be if they found guilty, and we're talking about, I mean, restituting funds. I mean,
Okay.
if it calls for even, I mean, sending them to jail and the rest of it, and let that happen. We also see that President Bakai, I mean, took a measure, austerity measure, reducing salaries of officials and companies, especially within the executive. It comes as a result of cuts by USAID and the World Bank and other foreign assistance that's supposed to come into the country. This is all about leadership. It may be soft,
Thank
it
you
may be
so much.
easy, and the rest of it, but we see somehow things happening. We are not saying that all is rosy, all is good. The Liberians are still complaining. Again, I would say President Bouaka needs to do more on the issue of tackling corruption, corruption. It impedes, I mean, the development of the country. If we can tackle that, then yes, we can be able to do more for our people. Because what do I want? I want the return of
Thank
the
you so
United
much.
Party in 2029. Yeah, that's what I want
Oh
to
my
see. And
goodness.
Terence said, I guess Terence also wants to see the return of the Unity Party in 2029. I guess Mr. Zil So too wants to see the return of a mature government in 2029. And that's exactly what the Liberians want. Thank you so much. Let's continue to talk and don't resort to years back of violence that took our country, at the hindmost where we ran into civil war. A 250,000 of Liberians died. We don't want to see that any longer. Let's talk the talk, and let's take the actions to be able to deliver our country. Thank you so much, and let's continue the dialogue. We are one people for the Liberians.
LBS, former state broadcast and train guy. Yeah, he really watering it down here this evening. So, Akwe, I know you. Well, it is right. Okay, but Tarek, we're about to go. Thank you again for coming this evening here. Great conversation, good talking point. Let's hear you. Is there your
First
guy?
of all, I don't know if I'm going to support United Party in 2029, Mr. Akwe. I'm not a UPIS.
Oh, fire in the hole.
And I like the way how Mr. Akwe can present. He's a real communicator, he's a journalist, professional here, and he got a sweet talk. But here is it. I'm not sure I was going to support United Party because I don't know. I'm driven by divine inspiration. And I have not seen
the man gone clerical.
No, I have not seen it yet. But yeah, is it? Yeah, I'm looking for a better government for Liberia, and that is what it is. And anybody who can produce is what we look up to. I think my concern is driven to the House, the impasse in the House. I think the president have failed to resolve the issue politically, and I think there are still means to solve it. If he can take out his pride and involve President Weah and Madam Sirleaf to go to the House and take up the time. I just been thinking about this, that what if President Bouaka would have, because everybody see him to be the bad man, that he messed the thing up, he did this, he did that. But what if he would have previously, before even calling for ECOWAS, to call Madam Sirleaf and call President Weah and say, go and have a meeting. Can you people please go and have a meeting with the House, with the representative? Don't you think that this thing would have been solved ever since? I think it would. I think the people in the House will they will feel more confident, better confident, because these two people are out of power. These are two former presidents. If they would have gone to the House and have a meeting with these people, by now this situation is done. I think this is where his leadership failed into using that strategy, because there is too much political divide. And if we continue like this, his government will not be presented as a democratic government and a government of inclusion to the betterment of the state. So I think he got to move. If this impasse continue to persist, he have to move the pawn in a different direction and put up a pride, reach across the aisle to the two former presidents, get involved to nail this thing in the bud. I also want to believe that they need to do more with a lot of things, a lot of projects. We have not heard any information from the public works minister in regards to the first $22 million that was spent on the roads. We have not heard anything. The rain is coming. We don't know what's going to happen. And other than that, we have not seen the legislature, the Senate calling him to ask him whether if the remaining $8 million that he said he has, so whatsoever the party, what they have done with it, no check and balances. We have not seen any information whatsoever. And also the information in regards to the burning of the Capitol, we are yet to see. So I think there are more things that they need to work on, and I hope that is done. Thank you.
Okay, what a great conversation. James and the Liberal and their ally, they will always come here and fix up things and do things. Terry is caught in the middle. He wants to be on the other side when he's not accommodated.
I'm not supporting CDC. I'm not talking
about CDC. Now Terry now saying he's not sure whether he's going to support Unity Party and all of that. Look, there's no any good Liberian who in their rightful mind do not want to see their country doing the world. The better to our country, the better we are here as well. Everybody wants to see their country progressing. But if we see what is happening, and some of these things that is happening under the watch of this president, that is troubling, because there's who told you that the executive cannot involve? There should have been a better way to get this thing done without us getting to this point and having this sort of chaotic situations, this drama to be created like this. Of course, it's natural. Politics is interest. Every president wants the speaker on his or her side. But there is a way, there's a process involved, and that process was circumvented. That process was completely ignored, and some of us still feel that the president did not do enough. The president perhaps is one of the chief architects of this, and so he's caught in the middle now, and this is why these guys are behaving the way they're behaving. And Terry is quite correct. Where is the investigations? I mean, we have a lot of endless. We saw the process. They brought in people, the king, or what it needs a fire chief in a proposal when he should be the frontliner to lead this investigation. Security personnel were at the Capitol building. The police commissioners, we never heard anybody being questioned as to whether anybody from outside intruder could lie with the security personnel. Actually, you know that all of these things are still unanswered. Yes, we will just have to speak about them as well in the interest of fairness. But again, you will continue to have these conversations. The president needs to do what he's supposed to do. But I think like our own man, what his name, Anthony Kesseley, a deputy minister of public affairs. That's a huge position. That's a big, high-profile position. Before the president travels, I remember those days, before Dole leaves, the deputy minister of public affairs goes to that country first to do everything.
Yep.
What time? That's what he's supposed to be doing. For you, Anthony Kesseley, as a deputy minister, to be fighting with Stanton Witherspoon, you're in the Facebook. Come on. It's a big distraction to government. They need to stop that. You know,
and I'll add a voice to you. Whatever that confusion or that quagmire is, I want which that it be resolved, it be settled. And, the United Party will not want anyone leaving. Whatever the situation is, I will be very much happy that it be settled, it be resolved, because the party at this time definitely needs everyone on board. Yeah, everyone for that matter.
I mean, when it came here with briefly saying message, I think he slowed down now because he was literally trying to do the work of Kula for final work. Kula is doing so well, having this press engagement. That was one of the things that were lacking. So now, man, solo and get and ready to just walk away. Because the more you have these sort of dialogue, these conversations, the apprehensions of the people goes away. Whether it's the saying it right, but the idea is being talked about. That wasn't done, and at times, the president, I believe he has spoken to press coming from out of the country. Those are good signs, and those are the things that we'll be saying. He never to just really some they said it. If you don't even answer the question, I mean, there should be no fear, but just sometimes just engage the microphone. Let people ask their upside down question and whatever it is, and you just talk about it. But let's see. I don't know whether there will be a lesson learned. I don't know how they intend to rebrand their party. Molu is on the other side with stands or whatever, stand or lay down, whatever it is. These are exhilarate being created. They're making the deal behind the scene. We don't know. I'm telling you.
I know that guy very well. You see, I know Mobile Molu very well. You see, in 26, 27, that guy is going to take a very strong political stand. And what do I mean by that? He's going to side himself and he will be somewhere. Trust me. Trust me when I say this.
Yeah, that guy will. I think he will fight. He will fight CDC. He will fight against CDC 2029. He's not going to.
Oh yeah, big time. That's the essence of forming this auxiliary pressure group, because people, it's all about it.
If he does that, he definitely will be right. He'll be right.
But he suffered because the CDC coming to power is not good for him. Because he already know what he suffered under them that led him to leave. So if CDC comes back to power, it's not good for Molu. So Molu is fighting for himself. He's fighting for a political position, maybe senator or something.
He's not taking public interview as much.
But my brother, it's not possible. Let's be frank, it's not possible yet that CDC will ever come back to power. Even if Liberians have issues with the United Party, the alternative is not going to be the CDC. Trust me. Trust me when I say this.
I myself thinking that will not happen. But if
the alternative, even if and I'm being very careful on my choice of words. Even if there are issues with the United Party, the alternative is not going to be the CDC. Trust me when I say this.
I know that, but now why do people know? What if the other people say otherwise?
Akwe, you are putting a core around your name, self-execution. To that, why you taking it out? Why are you trying to? Are you saying there's no way that this party can be rebranded? They don't have this. They don't have that political will to do it.
I mean, it could be rebranded, but I listened to Musa Belity. With the current leadership, with the current arrowhead being George Weah, it's not going to work. Liberians will not replace. Liberians will not. Give that guy the chance to come back to power again because they know exactly what they experienced, and because of what they experienced under his watch, under his gavel, they are not going to give him that mantle again. If I'm not going to provide that tutorial for the CDC. I'm not going to give that tutorial I'm not going to give a tutorial to the CDC yet, but I know definitely that the alternative is not going to be the CDC, even if Liberians have issues. Tons of issues with the United Party. It's not going to be the CDC. They will have another alternative, and that alternative. And trust me, when it comes to that, people will know about 26, 27. People will know exactly.
So
up to now, I can tell you up to now, the party is going to work seriously hard to make sure that it remains up there, and that Liberians definitely will reward them again as a result of what they will do.
Okay,
so we will come back here again and we'll discuss this very thing. Liberians are not foolish. Liberians are not stupid. They know exactly what they experienced during the reign of George Weah, and they are not going to allow that monster of a guy to come back to power. Trust me, that's not going to happen.
Do this forecast for me, you and Terry. So is it fair to say part of that to undercut CDC rebirth or regaining state power, the actions of Moluba Molu creating the sort of auxiliary? Is it fair to say purposely to undercut CDC, he can better define CDC the lack of leadership. We saw all of these things that he said.
But when it comes to the running of the CDC,
when it comes to
the running of the CDC, look, when it comes to the running of the CDC, trust me, Moba Molu is not someone to just play with. You think his departure, they know what his departure did to the party. He's not just walking away and single-handedly and the rest of it. Like I said, my brother, I don't want to sit here to provide tutorial for them.
Okay.
And
do you think that was the sole purpose? He came here for the inauguration, so he has his own group. They're moving here and there, trying to gain a spotlight. What sort of advocacy group is it? Is he's not having a exclusive for us to know his political mindset as of now. He has sometimes hit on GOL, hit here and hold here. Which way? What is his direction? Anybody?
Politics is interest. Politics is interest. The way he going is the best way he could go, because he was a permanent political figure in the CDC. If you're breaking away from CDC, the best thing you can do is to start small. Start with a little organization, and as you build it up, you gain the prestige. You travel here to gain reputation. It's all political mirage, political, it gains traction politically. So all of that, you start small. From there, you progress into a political party based upon the momentum. That is why you went back home, he engaging with a motorcyclist. He go into the court. He's trying to find sympathy with the people, to recognize him. He's rebranding himself, which is a good thing, which I expected for CDC to do. So this guy could merge with CDC on the basis of one thing: political interest. He's not going to merge with them to say, okay, when you win, I will get it. No, I will merge with you if you make me senator for so and so. If you make me senator or you make me representative. And I think he's going to go
but
for
CDC does not understand collaboration. They put him the power, the sideline, Alex Tyler. They keep the power, the sideline, all the other people.
Yeah, but political mental.
CDC to that, not a joke, but in they have been hard to.
They put sideline every institution that helped them.
History in a consequential election to eliminate your ally like that. To even quarter with Prince Johnson, that was the silliest. And that's where Magay is much smarter than all of those people there, because Magay was taking the lead. He met with Prince Johnson to the talk, what Prince Johnson wanted in return, and all of that. When he came, those few handful who are much closer to George, the Jeb Kaflia air, whatever, that way, and that was the end of it. Anyway, guys.
But right now, Mr. So, if CDC would have unified the opposition, I thought that what they would be doing, unify the opposition and send one candidate, support one candidate in the by-election in Nima County to win it. They might likely would have been talking about gaining traction in Nima County. But as it stands, they are divided. They are divided in Nima.
And there's a strategy for that,
And even the former president, honestly, I said this here, I don't want to rule out the possibility. Anybody can change, anybody can, depending how you take yourself. But like I was saying here, I don't see the former president doing enough. By this time, he has not come out. Maybe if he did, then I have to retract my statement. I haven't seen him to come out to take responsibilities on some of these fields and these governance practices that went on his administration. He's still allowing people to defend these things. Akara Great now is more mature when he should have been mature better when he was in the house. He had to defeat himself by the very
I was just listening to watching a particular video where he was telling this guy from Spoonman how to call him and the people how to call him and Dwalu. I mean, he said, "Oh, if you marry an ugly woman, then at the time you carry the Sunni when that the kind of thing you would say, would that be your response?" Yeah, the guy was responding to him, taking going to France, Paris, France, and in the video the man is saying, if you marry like ugly woman, then at the time you take her to Soniwe, and Soniwe is in his district.
This is the same man. This is the same man who Christ himself in the consequential election.
Yeah,
after
the guy can say this thing.
They can talk with authority.
Yeah, he was angry.
People can learn the hard way. I think he's getting to be man. That's what happens when you do not know the essence of power. When it leaves from you, then you say, "Oh, this thing I didn't know the importance." Because he's much mature now in his talking. I don't know how long he's gonna go. But as compared
no, I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to agree with you much. That Akara has become mature in his discussion. Akara will always cross issues when others are speaking. And, and I get so much agitated about that. Trust me.
What I'm saying, his position, the way he's, I know the cross talking.
Now.
I mean, he's much more stable when he was rep.
Yeah, but it has to do with the politics now.
So exuberant because he was on executive and he was within a close proximity, so he just thought he was above it. Just imagine you going for re-election and you're causing him in your own constituent.
Yes.
People
if you marry ugly woman, then you carry to Soniwe.
People want to vote for you.
This guy can say this thing.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. And Soniwe is in his district.
Yeah, that was finished. But he's refining too. He's learning. You know, it's good. People, everybody gonna learn. The only thing I respect Akara's great for, he's an intellectual. He discussed the issue in depth. He's informed.
He's informed.
You know, he's very much informed.
The processing, what they didn't do when they were in government, the processing of information, that tolerance, that political tolerance, it was lacking.
It was lacking.
That's the problem. Now it's gone, but you know, when something in your hand, when you not take care of it, when you leave from your hand, then you say, "Oh," so that right now it's too late. They had an opportunity. They could have helped. They could have turned things around. They didn't do it, and everybody was just pouring and heading their own talk. Guys, thank you so much. You see how the conversation is peaceful tonight, Terry, because the Lpr is not here. Jared Boishen is not here. We had a very peaceful conversation. There was no issue. But by the time the Lpr come, then you read a sideline, you read a line with him again. But that's okay. Thank you so much, guys, and have a pleasant evening.
Yeah. Okay. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay. Okay, well, folks, that does it. So we want to thank you so much for your time, your evenings and mornings, whatever time, depending on your time. We say thank you so much for joining us. Emmanuel Tiet, Mr. John, Joseph Tambia, I hope I'm calling it right, Edward Clark, Sheikh Ali, Joseph K. Morris, John Hennan. What's up, my man? How you doing? Hopefully the evening is going well. Akut Joseph Kroman. And all of our great people, Hank Sant Tamba, is that a name? I hope I'm calling it right. Thank you so much. Chelsea, to Michael, of course, Clarence David, you didn't call yet tonight because the Lpr not here, right? So rescue boys are in charge. Who told you say the rescue people are in charge? Don't even go there with me, Clarence. Lion Te Nyakon, the Wiashans in North Dakota, again, Mrs. Mary Slangat, good to have you here. Moment, Sangi, Emmanuel Tiet, Alfonso Sweat, Bentu Kane. Bentu, good morning, good evenings, good afternoon, depending on your location. Thank you for sharing your events with us here as well. Well, folks, that's how we're going to do it. Teresa, good evening. Good to have you here. Unbreakable. Again, like I said, to most of you, our followers, if this is the first time, we say you are wholeheartedly welcome to follow us, leave your comments, your suggestions as to how we can enhance, improve our conversation, things that we need to do, things that we are not doing right. We are open to suggestions for the good of this network, ultimately for the good of the country. We will be coming to you. For those of you that we know personally, so we'll be reaching out. And even if we do not know you, by virtue of your presence here in the every evening, afternoon, depending whatever time we comes on, you do have share responsibility to also to give. But and again, I want to say thank you to Saradit from Canonical Arvis own Goodwood has donated $75, and that $75 is going to go a long way for this network in terms of what we do for our guys back home. Hopefully, probably before this week ends or next week, we will come out. We will exhibit something potentially that will give us a cause, a reason to ask you for your nickel, for your dime, to enhance the capacity of this network. Keeping this system on is costly. It's costly. You know that. Very, very, very expensive. And our guys, nobody's on salary. We have not reached that level. I wish we could, but they are volunteering and they are putting in time. They are doing everything. So even at that, someone that is not on salary, you must use your good judgment every now and then and chip in events. There are a few other correspondents outside of Morovia in other places. We want to try as much as possible to be felt in each and every county, so that there will be a story, there will be information, untold stories that for them to come out. If you hear it, you see it, National Public Radio here. We try to model the star in that. It's not against the government, but it's it's inclusive. Government people go there to talk, opposition people to go there to talk, ordinary citizens to go there to express their view, to express their opinions. And that's how a public network should be like. And we intend to do that. So no matter whatever positions we take in the long run, that will not change the structure of this network. All sides, all views, all opinions will be heard as long as they are willing to show up here. And like I said, we will be playing host to one of the newly political leaders, if you will. We want to have an opportunity to dialogue with him to see what his vision for the country. I don't know whether he has ever put that out, but I don't want to be judgmental. Does he want to even contest for the presidency of the Republic of Liberia? Or he wants to just hear the political party? What actually his political interest? These are questions we need to ask. Almost giving the opportunity to answer these questions. Until then, folks, we say thank you so much. Again, if you are in the USA, within the New England Belt, outside of the New England Belt, if you have a memorable event, you have a program, be a convention, reunion, graduations, whatever it is, let us know. We will work it out with you and make a reasonable donation so that we'll provide you a service and you pay for the service instead of just giving us some sort of free giveaway. We don't. We want to work for something and then you pay as well. But let us know. Even have a business, you want to advertise it, let us know. We will show you the way to do it. We will walk you through the process and we can talk about that. Again, Saade, thank you so much for your donation this evening. We're going to reach that. Meyi Battle. Thank you so much for joining us here. Hey, my man, Miguel, Eric, what's going on? Thank you so much. Eric, please, I will inbox you. I have a good message for you. I've been checking your clearance. You probably got your number already, so no trouble. Again, we want to be reaching out to everyone in a special way, and we will let you know for what we are doing, what we intend to do. With your help, hopefully we're going to get that. Until then, have a pleasant evening. And by God's willing, join the Liberal and his crew tomorrow. But guess what? Bad news for them. I will be here. I don't know how Clarence is going to manage. But Clarence, tell your guys, I will be here tomorrow. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.
I just want to thank you.